spirited stallions, and a couple of dogs looking to catch the perfect wave. Thanks so much to our panel, and thank you for tuning in. I'm Elizabeth Stanton. We'll see you next time on World's Funniest Animals.
This is Jeffrey Maya. Watch a new episode of All American Homecoming this Monday at 8, 7 Central on the CW.
I accept your nomination.
Now at 10, Vice President Kamala Harris makes history, formally accepting the Democratic Party's nomination for President of the United States.
Plus, a terrifying kidnapping attempt in Santa Monica. A homeless woman under arrest after trying to grab an 8-year-old girl. A neighbor gets into a tug of war with this suspect.
And more smash and grab heists targeting businesses across the San Fernando Valley. Thieves use trucks, cars, and SUVs to bust right through the front windows. Now on the news at 10. Good evening, I'm Micah Ullman.
And I'm Sandra Mitchell. Cher has the night off. Patriotism, freedom, the promise of a better future. Kamala Harris makes history, becoming the first woman of color to accept her party's nomination for President of the United States.
Harris pledged to be a president for all Americans, to unite the country and to bring common sense to the presidency in what she calls the greatest country on earth. To cheers, standing ovations, and a crowd filled with hope, the vice president laid out the stark choice Americans now face: a future of freedom, fairness, and optimism, or one filled with chaos and extremism.
KTLA's John Finolio live in Chicago with highlights of an extraordinary final night of the DNC. John?
Sandra, Micah, that's right. This was the most critical speech of Kamala Harris's political career. She delivered impassioned remarks calling for unity and promising a brighter future if elected, saying, "We are charting a new way forward." Vice President Kamala Harris's rise to the top of the Democratic ticket was sudden and historic.
The path that led me here in recent weeks was no doubt unexpected. But I'm no stranger to unlikely journeys.
Her journey now one step closer to the Oval Office.
I accept your nomination to be President of the United States of America. Our nation, with this election, has a precious, fleeting opportunity to move past the bitterness, cynicism, and divisive battles of the past, a chance to chart a new way forward. Not as members of any one party or faction, but as Americans. And let me say, I know there are people of various political views watching tonight, and I want you to know, I promise to be a president for all Americans. You can always trust me to put country above party and self.
She's now the first woman of color to lead a major American political party. Her campaign barely more than a month old after President Biden stepped aside and endorsed her for the job. Harris laying out her values as the daughter of immigrants growing up in the Midwest and highlighting her experience as a career prosecutor.
No one should be made to fight alone. We are all in this together.
And making it clear she's ready to take the fight to former President Trump.
In many ways, Donald Trump is an unserious man. But the consequences of putting Donald Trump back in the White House are extremely serious. Consider not only the chaos and calamity when he was in office, but also the gravity of what has happened since he lost the last election.
Harris vowing to get tough on crime, revive the bipartisan border bill, and strengthen America's defenses. She's also promising to bring costs down and create more affordable housing. Her energetic speech, also a call for unity.
I I love our country with all my heart. Everywhere I go, in everyone I meet, I see a nation that is ready to move forward, ready for the next step in the incredible journey that is America. I see an America where we hold fast to the fearless belief that built our nation and inspired the world. That here, in this country, anything is possible. That nothing is out of reach. An America where we care for one another, look out for one another, and recognize that we have so much more in common than what separates us.
And there you have it. We're off to the races. The candidates are off to campaign in those all too critical swing states. Kamala Harris and Donald Trump will debate each other in Philadelphia on September 10th. We'll have more at 11. For now, reporting live in Chicago, I'm John Fenolio, sending it back to you.
John, thank you. Meanwhile, former President Trump visited Arizona today, focusing on immigration and touring the border wall that he has pledged to complete. But the visit was cut short after the former president learned there was another threat to his life and a manhunt for the suspect.
KTLA's Samantha Cortese joining us live from the News Center. She's got more on this chaotic campaign stop. Sam.
Sandra and Micah, standing in front of an unfinished border wall in Sierra Vista, Arizona, the former president was confronted with yet another credible threat on his life. Here's what he had to say. Another possible assassination attempt thwarted.
Can I tell you something? Sure. We're in danger standing here talking.
Former President Trump catching up with Allie Bradley, border reporter.
So let's not talk any longer. No, I know about it, but they don't want me standing here. They don't want you standing here either. Have a good time. Thank you very much.
Hours later, federal authorities arrested 66-year-old Ronald Lee Searwood following a manhunt throughout Cochise County, Arizona. They say he posted threats to kill Trump, who was in Sierra Vista for a campaign event on border security.
We had a border czar who was the border czar. She loved the title, but she didn't want to do the work because she's lazy.
The former president attacked Vice President Harris on her handling of the southern border. Tonight, Vice President Harris addressed the border at the DNC.
I know the importance of safety and security, especially at our border.
Former President Trump posted on social media, she talked about the rule of law, but as border czar, she allowed 20 million people into our country, many of them criminals who are maiming and killing our people. One of those victims, 12-year-old Jocelyn Nungary, whose mother was at the border with the former president today.
Please take into consideration how important border control is, because we're losing very innocent people to heinous crimes that shouldn't be happening in the first place.
Earlier this year, the Senate killed an immigration bill. Some Democrats and nearly all Republicans voted against it, including Senator J.D. Vance.
I was there in the Senate when they tried to pass that border security bill, and it had nothing to do with border security.
Both parties blame the other for the failed border security bill. Tomorrow, the former president may pick up an endorsement from RFK Jr., who's officially filed paperwork to drop out of the presidential race. In the News Center, Samantha Cortese, KTLA 5 News.
Thank you. Now to breaking news in Granada Hills, where a shooting victim has been rushed to a hospital after running into a grocery store for help.
Our Gil Levis overhead in Sky 5 for us tonight. Gil.
Sandra and Micah.